If you're thinking about moving to San Antonio, Texas, then wait just 1 minute before packing your bags and making that move. I've spoken to many clients over the past year, and having had those conversations, there are just a few things that you might not know and should definitely be aware of. In this video, I'm going over the top 7 questions people ask when relocating to San Antonio. Now, some of these questions may be one on your list or one you may not have even thought to ask, but stay till the end because the last tip could save you a major headache and time. So let's get into our first question, which is, do you need a vehicle? If you're relocating to San Antonio, one of the first things to consider is whether you'll need a car to get around. And the short answer is yes. Because unlike some major cities where public transportation is a primary mode of commuting, San Antonio is a largely car-dependent city. Now, there are some public transit options, but relying on them exclusively can be a little challenging depending on where you live or work. So, San Antonio's public transportation system is the Via Metropolitan Transit Authority, which operates a network of buses and park and ride services. However, the coverage is limited compared to cities like New York or Chicago, and routes are not always the most convenient for daily commuting. So if you live in the downtown area, you might be able to get away without a car since many attractions, restaurants, and office buildings are within walking distance or just a short Uber drive away. However, once you move to the suburbs or outer neighborhoods where the majority of our new construction housing options are available, you'll quickly find that having a vehicle becomes almost essential. Now, the city's layout is spread out and driving is by far the most efficient way to get around. And some of our major highways like I-10, I-35, and Loop 1604 connect different parts of the city, making it easier to commute, and I'll discuss these highways a little later in the video, but keep in mind that traffic during rush hours can be heavy, especially on the highways leading into downtown. Now, without a car, getting to everyday essentials like work, school, grocery stores, or even medical appointments can be inconvenient and often time-consuming. So, while it's possible to live in San Antonio without a car, it's not the most practical option for most people. And just a quick break from the video, I wanted to let you know that we put together the Ultimate San Antonio Relocation Guide, which is a 38-page PDF where we go over everything in terms of hot areas, fun things to do, common school districts, and just generally good to know Texas information like we're going over in this video. So if you would like to get that guide, go ahead and click the link in the description below and you will get all the information you could possibly want. So with that being said, let's get back to the video. The next question on the list is, why are property taxes so high? Now, one of the biggest financial factors you'll need to consider is property taxes. And everyone knows that Texas is known for having some of the highest property tax rates in the country, and San Antonio is no exception. Many people are often caught off guard by the cost, especially if they're moving from states with lower property taxes. But understanding why property taxes are high and how they impact home ownership will help you plan your budget accordingly. So one of the main reasons property taxes are so high in Texas is that the state does not collect any income tax. So instead, our local governments rely heavily on property taxes to fund essential services such as public schools, infrastructure, emergency services, and city maintenance. So this means that while Texas residents save on income tax, they often pay more in property taxes than homeowners in other states. Now, let's take a look at how much you can expect to pay when it comes to property taxes. So the average property tax rate in San Antonio is around 2.2% of a home assessed value. But this varies by school district and other local taxing entities. So, for example, if a home is valued at $300,000, then property taxes could be approximately $6,600 per year before exemptions. Like everywhere else, home values in San Antonio have been rising, which means tax assessments are also increasing, leading to higher tax bills for homeowners. So, although property taxes are high, there are a few ways to potentially reduce your tax bill. Now, the first way you could do this is to apply for a homestead tax exemption. Whether you purchase a home or you're currently living in a home that is your primary residence, then you can file for a homestead exemption, which lowers your taxable home value and limits how much your assessed value can increase each year. Now, other exemptions that some may be entitled to would be that over 65 exemption, the disabled residents homestead exemption, as well as a disabled veteran tax exemption. Another way to lower your property tax rate would be to protest your property valuation. Every year, you have the right to challenge your home appraised value if you believe it's too high. And many homeowners file protests with the Bexar County Appraisal District each year to potentially reduce their tax liability. Now, a couple other ways to lower your property taxes is to look for areas with lower city or county taxes. Some areas outside San Antonio's city limits have lower tax rates because they aren't subject to city taxes. However, they may have fewer services or longer commutes to local amenities. And another popular question we often get is, how should I prepare for the weather? Now, the weather in San Antonio can be quite different from what you're used to, depending on where you're moving from. And San Antonio's summer heat is one of the biggest adjustments for people who have just moved here. Now, from June to September, temperatures regularly reach the high 90s, often exceeding 100 degrees, and at times combined with high humidity, this can make outdoor activities challenging if you're not used to the heat. But the city does experience mild winters compared to northern states. The average daytime temperature ranges between 50 to about 70 degrees from December through about February. But occasional cold fronts can bring temperatures down into the 30s or even below freezing. Now, while snow is very rare here, we do get occasional icy days depending on how cold it gets. Now, these will usually occur in the months of January through February. When this happens, the city pretty much shuts down. Now, I'm not trying to be extreme here, but the city doesn't handle the cold very well, like some other states that experience freezing temperatures on the daily. Now, one thing to note is that San Antonio is notorious for seasonal allergies, especially from mountain cedar pollen, which peaks in the winter months. In addition to the mountain cedar, in the winter, you can expect oak pollen in the spring, which can also be problematic. So, if you're looking to purchase homes in areas like Bernie, Bulverde, New Braunfels, or any other area in the hill country, then be prepared to look into stocking up on allergy meds if pollen affects you. And if you're still here and have gotten any value out of this video, then feel free to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell for notifications. That way you can be a part of our growing community. And if it's the first time to the channel, then my name is Frank, and my wife Alyssa and I, who run a husband and wife real estate team, get calls, texts, and emails from people just like you looking to buy homes right here in San Antonio. So if that's you, then don't be shy or hesitate. Just give us a call, send us a text, or shoot us a quick email. That way we can help you make a smooth move right here to San Antonio. Now back to the video. Now, the next question is, what is there to do in San Antonio? Now, San Antonio is a city full of history, culture, entertainment, and outdoor activities. So whether you enjoy exploring historical sites, eating amazing food, or spending time outdoors, San Antonio really has something for everyone. Now, one of the most famous attractions in the city is the Riverwalk. Every time Alyssa and I suggest the Riverwalk to our clients, our friends from out of state, we get tons of comments of how cool the Riverwalk really is. And I'll be honest, I'm very complacent that we have a river in the heart of the city. So each time we have a great big reaction from people about the Riverwalk, it reminds us just how unique San Antonio really is. So if you don't know, the Riverwalk is a scenic tree-lined area that is filled with restaurants, bars, and shops along the San Antonio River. You can take a river cruise where a guide will share fun facts about the city while you cruise down the river, and it's really a central hub for many of San Antonio's biggest events, including fiesta, holiday lights, and river parades throughout the year. So whether you're looking for a romantic dinner, a family outing, or a place to relax, the Riverwalk is a great spot to explore. And as I said, San Antonio is known for its rich history and cultural landmarks, so you can't forget about places like the Alamo or the historic Market Square. Now, the Alamo is one of the most famous historical sites in the U.S. The landmark is where the famous 1836 battle took place, and today it's a must-visit exhibit. The historic Market Square is known as the largest Mexican market in the U.S. Market Square is filled with authentic Mexican food, handmade goods, and live entertainment, making it a great place to experience San Antonio's strong Hispanic heritage. Now, if you love spending time outdoors, San Antonio offers great parks like Brackenridge Park, which has a huge green space in the middle of the city. And Brackenridge Park is also home to the San Antonio Zoo. Now, the Japanese Tea Garden is also another spot with really cool scenery and is arguably one of the best spots for relaxing or taking photos. Of course, if you love basketball, then catching a San Antonio Spurs game is a must, but if you're more of a theme park or a family fun type of person, then you have a couple of great options like Six Flags Fiesta Texas for roller coasters and live shows, or SeaWorld, which is the largest SeaWorld in the country, offering marine life exhibits, shows, roller coasters, and even a water park. Now, whether you love exploring historical sites, spending time in nature, or enjoying great food and festivals, you'll never run out of things to do. The next question we often get is, what is the traffic like here in San Antonio? If you're relocating to San Antonio, understanding the traffic situation is key to planning your daily commute, choosing where to live, and really just getting a feel for how the city flows. Now, while San Antonio traffic does have some congestion hotspots, especially during rush hour, here's what you need to know. Like most major cities, San Antonio experiences rush hour traffic, but it's generally more manageable compared to cities like Austin, Dallas, or even Houston. Now, typically the heaviest traffic occurs between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. as people commute to work and school. You could also expect congestion from 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m., especially on major highways. And traffic tends to be heavier on Friday afternoons, especially near shopping centers and highways leading out of the city. Now, if you're lucky enough to work remotely or have a flexible schedule, you can easily avoid peak traffic times and have a much smoother driving experience. San Antonio has a well-connected highway system, but certain areas get more congested than others. I know I said earlier that I would touch on some of the major highways to be aware of, so let's get into that right now. So Loop 1604 is one of the San Antonio's busiest highways, and it forms a loop around the city. Now, traffic can especially be heavier on the northern part of 1604 near places like Stone Oak, Alamo Ranch, and La Cantera. Now, the Interstate 10, I-10, highway runs east to west through San Antonio, connecting downtown with areas like Bernie and the Medical Center. So if you're using this highway, you can expect the congestion to be near downtown and the Rim Shopping Center. I-35 is another major highway that connects San Antonio to Austin. I-35 is one of the most congested roads in Texas, especially near New Braunfels and downtown San Antonio. Highway 281 is a highway that runs north to south and a major corridor for people commuting from North San Antonio to downtown. It has improved in recent years, but rush hour traffic can still be slow moving. And Loop 410 is another loop around the city, but less congested than 1604. If you're planning to commute from the suburbs, keep in mind that areas north of San Antonio like New Braunfels, Schertz, and Cibolo tend to have heavier morning and evening traffic, especially on I-35 and 1604. And if you're trying to avoid or minimize your time in traffic, you have one or two options, which are to use alternative routes or just live close to work. I know it sounds funny, but if possible, consider living closer to your workplace or in any other area with a shorter commute. As far as alternate routes, I would suggest apps like Google Maps and Waze can help you find the fastest route and avoid congested areas. Honestly, even though I've lived here in San Antonio all my life, I use Google Maps often, and when I say often, I mean like every day. It's not that I don't know my way around San Antonio, but with the influx of people that move here, that means more people on the roads and longer commute times. San Antonio's traffic isn't as bad as other major Texas cities, but certain highways and rush hour periods can get backed up. Since public transportation is limited, having a car is essential for most people, like I mentioned earlier. The next question on the list is, how diverse and welcoming is the community in San Antonio? So one of the biggest concerns for anyone relocating to a new city is whether they feel at home. Now, being a native of San Antonio, I can truly say that this city is very diverse and home to people of all different backgrounds and cultures. San Antonio is truly a melting pot of different cultures, traditions, and experiences. San Antonio hosts a variety of festivals each year that celebrate different cultures, and we also have a diverse culinary scene. Now, there are a ton of great restaurants around the city that offer a variety of foods. And when it comes to being a welcoming city, there is no question that San Antonio is a top contender. Southern hospitality is a real thing, and you'll find that many residents here are friendly and helpful. You should also consider the fact that with several military bases, this city has a large and diverse military population, bringing people from all over the country and the world, which makes San Antonio very welcoming to veterans, active duty military, and their families. And thanks to San Antonio's growing job market, universities, and healthcare industry, there is an increasing number of residents with many backgrounds as well. Now, this next topic is probably one of the most important factors to consider when up and relocating. Not just here to San Antonio, but relocating in general, which is considering a job transfer rather than quitting. Now, what does this mean exactly? Well, I'm specifically referring to whether you can transfer your job position within your current company rather than quitting your current job and starting fresh. Lenders require proof of stable income, typically in the form of recent pay stubs and employment history. So if you're in the middle of switching jobs or have just started a new position, lenders may see this as a risk and require additional documentation, which can delay your approval. Now, some lenders may even require you to have been employed in your new job for a minimum of 30 to 90 days before they'll approve you for a mortgage. Now, this means that if you move without securing employment first, you could be forced to rent until you establish financial stability, potentially missing out on locking in a home at today's prices. Now, transferring within your current company, however, could help avoid these issues as well as those in remote or contract-based work. So for those that are transferring, and if your employer offers the option to relocate within the company, you get to maintain your employment record, which makes the mortgage approval process much smoother. Now, many companies also offer relocation packages that can help cover moving costs, temporary housing, or even down payment assistance. So ultimately, if you're planning to buy a home here in San Antonio, keeping your employment stable, either by transferring or securing a job before moving, it can definitely make all the difference in ensuring a smoother transition and avoiding financial roadblocks. And if you're looking to relocate here to San Antonio or the surrounding area, Alyssa and I would love to assist you in any way we can and just be a resource of information for you. So feel free to reach out to us with the information on the screen with a phone call, text, or email, and we would love to help. We hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you on the next one.